Thanks for joining us on the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector. Coming up, the Soufriere MP says the NEP is positively impacting his constituents. Government offers lots for sale at Union Estate, and the Director of Primary Healthcare speaks on substance abuse. Details of our headline stories and more after this.
If you can believe this, why can't you believe this?
Uncle tried to make me have sex.
Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Thanks for staying with us. The National Employment Program is making its mark on the Soufriere constituency. On a recent tour of that area, Parliamentary Representative Ian Pinard reported that the program is making life better for his people. He disclosed just how much the NEP has transformed his constituency.
Right now we have over 110 persons employed under the NEP. We have a few persons employed in businesses in Roseau. We have a few people employed at the schools. And both principals of the St. Louis School in Point Michel and also the Soufriere government has commended the person that we have sent to the school because it has enhanced the primary school. We also have those under the beautification and also those under the SW care. So we've had quite a bit of persons under the NEP. And to go further, when you look at the total monthly bill to the government for the Soufriere constituency, it's over $40,000. So that's $40,000 that the persons, because most of the persons weren't employed, there's $40,000 that they were not receiving, and now there's $40,000 you have now in the Soufriere constituency.
In October 2014, a school feeding program was initiated at the Soufriere Primary School. Now, over 50 students have lunch at school 3 times a week. The NEP employs the cooks who ensure that the students are well fed.
Well, the school feeding program began somewhere in October with the assistance of Mr. Pinard. And we felt the need to have the school feeding program because on many occasions, some persons came to school not having a proper meal. Most times the meal would consist of some bread and juice. And as a staff, we felt that that was not adequate. An empty bag cannot stand. So if the children are not fed properly, then it means that they will have some difficulty in trying to learn what it is that is being taught to them. Through the NEP, we have a few persons in the kitchen who are very dedicated and they ensure that the children receive their lunch on time, and it is always consists of a balanced diet.
The NEP is also in the classroom at the Soufriere Primary. The gallery says having teaching assistants from the program has brought tremendous benefits to students. And in cleanup and beautification, the National Employment Program employs several who keep the community spotless. Meantime, there are more plans to keep the people of this area employed. The parliamentary representative revealed that soon 60 persons will begin a hospitality training module.
The 60% is just a start where we train person in the hospitality business, and then after that we put them in attachment in different restaurants and hotels, and they're gonna have this training and know, because Soufriere constituency is a tourism area, we're gonna be using a lot of these persons and train a lot more persons in the hospitality business, and that's the overall plan, having the natural resources that we have to create employment first in the Soufriere constituency.
The NEP was initiated by Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit in 2013. To date, over 1,400 persons are employed through this program. Earlier this week, the Dominica Council on Aging, together with a Martinique-based association, brought stakeholders together at a one-day seminar to discuss a framework for best practices at residential homes. President of the Dominica Council on Aging, Zet Matuse, noted that the seminar was important since a lot has changed over the years in the proper care of the elderly.
we realized that gone are the days when most of our elderly persons were cared for at home, surrounded by their family and other relatives, and really taken good care of at home, I must say. Because I remember growing up as a child and watching what was going on, even in my own little community. But again, due to societal changes, due to all kinds of different factors that have affected the family. Remember, at that time, the family was more the type of extended type of family. Now we have more nuclear type of families. We have a lot of migration taking place, leaving sometimes the older persons out there to fend on their own. That makes them very vulnerable to abuse. Even when they are taken to residential homes, that still does not mean that they are not vulnerable. They are still vulnerable. We want to ensure, and that is why we are here today, we want to ensure that when they leave their homes, the families take them to, or whoever takes them to, those residential homes, that they will be given proper care and attention, and that the standards that are set there will be to the benefit of these older persons. We would not like to hear that anything is going wrong with them in terms of their care. We want to ensure that the care given is the best possible care.
Sherita Gregoire was the program coordinator.
We are proud that we play a major role which carries a wide range of responsibilities. But above all, we are the heart of our service. This means putting the people who use our service at the center of everything and constantly reflecting on whether or not we are doing the very best that can be done.
Participants were given the critical responsibility of taking a serious look at the current situation with a view to make recommendations. They were also given the task to ensure that all avenues are vigorously explored so effective processes are introduced and necessary legislation enacted. Participants reviewed current systems and practices, deliberated on best practices, and set the roadmap for the establishment, staffing, supervision, monitoring, and management of residential homes in Dominica. In more news, the Director of Primary Healthcare Services, Dr. Laura Esprit, proposes that the adverse effects of drugs and alcohol are not taken lightly. Addressing a national consultation to discuss a strategic plan for alcohol and drug abuse prevention, she described the harmful effects of alcohol on the human body.
Now, research have identified multiple ways that alcohol may increase the risk of cancers, and these are not limited to the following. One, in the metabolizing of ethanol, which is found in alcoholic drinks, to acetaldehyde. This substance has proven to be a toxic chemical and a potential human carcinogen. Also, the fact shows that alcohol can impair the body's ability to break down and to absorb a variety of nutrients that may be associated with cancer risk. And this includes vitamin A, nutrients in the vitamin B complex such as folate. We also have vitamin C, D, E, and carotenoids. It also increases blood levels of estrogens, which is a sex hormone that is linked to the risk of breast cancer. So generally speaking, alcoholic beverages also contains a variety of carcinogenic contaminants that are primarily introduced during the fermentation and production process.
Dr. Esprit says as a physician at the acute psychiatric unit, she knows firsthand the devastating effects of substance abuse on the mind and body.
As one who has spent a number of years as a physician attached to the acute psychiatric unit, or the APU, I have come in full view of the impact of alcohol and other drugs on one's mental health. Drugs are generally placed into categories due to the effect they have on the individual. As such, they are grouped as stimulants, depressants, hallucinogens, or narcotics. These substances are known to hold severe health consequences for the user. We also recognize that users are more accident-prone and oftentimes have violent and otherwise risky behaviors which have implications for the transmission of STIs and other challenges.
The director notes that addiction to substance abuse also affects families. She also notes that the overall social implications of drug abuse are great.
The harmful use of alcohol and other drugs is a grave public health concern. The challenges present in the following areas. We can think of lost earnings or lack of productivity, cost associated with crime, cost associated with accidents and injury, healthcare expenditure, and cost to social services. The social and economic impact of substance abuse is determined by the value of goods and services delivered to address the negative effects such as hospitalization, the use of medication, counseling services, just to name a few. The impact is also determined by the value of personal production services that are not delivered as a consequence of substance abuse. It is therefore estimated that the cost of the use of these substances to society can reach several percentages of the gross domestic product.
She quoted from a UN General Assembly's declaration on the guiding principles of drug demand reduction.
Programs to reduce the demand for drugs should be part of a comprehensive strategy to reduce the demand for all substances of abuse. Such programs should be integrated to promote cooperation between all concerned, should include a wide variety of appropriate interventions, should promote health and social well-being among individuals, families, and communities, and should reduce the adverse consequences of drug abuse for the individual and for the society as a whole.
You're watching National Focus. Still to come, the Ministry of Information Technology brings ICT to the Caleb Laura Primary School. Stay with us.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is two courts in one? The CCJ has two functions: an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between CARICOM countries freely, and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All CARICOM member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
Welcome back. The government of Dominica is preparing to make an additional 28 lots available to the people of Point Michel for housing development. On a recent tour with Parliamentary Representative for the area, Honorable Ian Pinard, GIS News visited Union Estate in the Heights of Point Michel, where government is selling housing lots at low cost to citizens. Honorable Pinard says government acquired the land to make housing space more accessible in the Point Michel community.
We have subdivided into an agricultural set and also in housing lot set. The first portion that was sold in 2001 to a few residents, where we sold 16. Then the second portion we sold 80, and the next portion we sold about 50, totaling 132 at the first section. The second section in Union Estate we sold over 40-something lots, and the third section of Union Estate, which is this section, we're going to be selling 28 lots. So there are 28 lots that will be available to the community of Point Michel. So very soon, persons from the community will be benefiting from housing lot. And as you rightly mentioned, the lots are very affordable, it's only $7.25. And most of the time, the land is valued a lot more. But government is not intention of making profits on land, but to make it available to the community.
Government has also facilitated road access and utilities in the area. This forms part of government's ongoing efforts to make housing more affordable for the average citizen.
Because of the programs the government has initiated, the 4% government housing loan board, and persons take advantage of it, and also the 5% at the aid bank, where a lot of persons from the private sector, low-income families, that would never in their wildest dream construct a home because of their salaries, and now being and now can afford building their own home. And that's what you're saying happened in Union Estate in Point Michel. And we're very happy, and I'm very proud to be a part of that and to be a part of this government. We continue to look for the interests and the benefit of our citizens.
Honorable Pinard says the sale of the lots will be finalized in the coming weeks. The Ministry of Information Technology, Science and Telecommunication, as part of its mandate to continue the development and expansion of telecommunication services island-wide, has made a significant contribution to the Caleb Laura Primary School. On Wednesday, a donation of 4 state-of-the-art desktop computers were handed over to the school by the Minister for Information Technology, Science and Telecommunication, the Honorable Kelva Daru. Honorable Daru is also the Member of Parliament for that constituency. Education Officer Margaret Jules Royer assured Honorable Daru that the school will make good use of the computers.
Right now you have the computers, and you're going to we're going to ensure that learning is enhanced, because you can use it for research, for finding out about things around the world. I mean, information is at your fingertip. A little snap of the finger and you are right on it, and you can know what's happening immediately. The principal and the members of staff will ensure that ICT is taught and is integrated with the other subjects at the Caleb Laura Primary.
Honorable Daru says this donation is meant to meet one of the needs of the school.
On several visits to the school, I had the opportunity to speak to the principal and to engage in some of the discussions and some of the needs of the school. And one of the items that was always on his agenda was the need for some new computers. Seeing that what you all had before, they were no longer able to be used. And therefore, I saw it as a responsibility of mine to ensure that we could provide the school with some additional computers that will go a long way towards the advancement and the development of you, the students, here at the school.
According to him, it is widely recognized that technology plays a critical role in education.
Technology plays a vital role and is also a vital learning tool in the advancement of your learning. And that is why having access to a computer, having access to the internet, being able to do research is a key component towards your development. And the government of Dominica places tremendous emphasis in ensuring that we make the tools available to you, the students, so that you will be able to improve on your skills and your development. And it is never too early to start learning how to use a computer.
The minister urged students to take full advantage of the opportunities now available.
And as some of you are now at primary school, will be making a step to secondary school, you will be able now to have greater access and greater opportunities with the use of the computer. To do your research, to find out certain things, to help you with your homework. That is important. And I want to encourage you, the students, that when you go on the computer, don't just use it to play games, but please ensure that you can use it to find out what is happening in the world. You can go on one of the news websites and find out what is happening in other parts of the world. Because there is so much information out there at your fingertips. And you have to be able to access that information. You have to be able to know what is happening in the world around you. And there are various subject areas that you can find out information. In science, you can find out what is happening. What are some of the new developments in science? In the Caribbean around you, you can find out what is happening in other countries, not just to know about Dominica. So with the use of the computer, you are able to get that information and become a more resourceful person.
And numerous bands and individuals were recognized for outstanding participation in the 2015 Real Mass celebrations when the Dominica Festivals Committee held its prize-giving ceremony on Wednesday. Among them was Dominica's Queen Odessa Eli, first runner-up Kelsia Wrighton, second runner-up Patrice Dorset, and other participants in the National Queen Show who were presented with cash and prizes. Eli is also the recipient of a full government scholarship. Presenting the awards to the contestants was Senator Honorable Robert Tong. Honorable Tong is Minister for Tourism and Urban Renewal.
Many refer to Dominica's Carnival as one of the most spontaneous and original carnivals in the Caribbean. Dominica's Carnival is truly a unique blend of traditional mass which incorporates modern elements while maintaining its authenticity. This authenticity, uniqueness, and spontaneity is in fact our comparative advantage. It is what will help Dominica's Carnival retain its rightful place as a special festival to be experienced by many. This, along with the World Creole Music Festival and Jazz and Creole, has become one of our signature events in our festival for tourism events. As we look towards events to incite people to visit our shores, all of us in Dominica, old and young, must take this opportunity to spread the good word to our friends to come to Dominica and firsthand experience what we have to offer.
Additionally, over 30 prizes were presented to the bands, floats, groups, and individuals who participated in the 2 days of Street Jump Up on February 16th and 17th. These included awards for Longest Old Mass Group, which went to the Dailies Old Mass Sensei Group, Best Juve Group, Dominica State College, Best Old Mass Group on Monday, the Thunderbirds, and Adult Band of the Year, the Africulture Stilt Walkers. Meantime, primary and secondary schools were also awarded for their participation, particularly in the area of costume building. On the list of recognized schools were the Beaubois, St. Martin, Saint-Ouvert, and St. Mary's primary schools, and as well the Castle Bruce Secondary, Goodwill Secondary, and Isaiah Thomas Secondary schools. The Real Mass 2015 was celebrated under the theme C'est la vie nous. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole, non moins c'est McPherson St. Louis. Premièrement, ministre de l'Agriculture a continué EP Cycle Spray pour combattre la maladie Black Sick Toka. Parole celle-là sortie du ministre de l'Agriculture, Honorable Johnson Drago. Ministre Drago a donné bon avis pour habitants qui affectent EP maladie là.
Comme vous savez, il y a des difficultés, puis ça fait l'huile là, nous besoin pour ça fait figue là. Mais nous, ni ça, en bas commandement, le gouvernement même te mettait $300,000 en affaires pour aller en l'huile et puis d'autres chemicals. Et BAM aussi qui a fait l'argent pour travailler ça. So, quand nous va parler, nous allons rentrer dans l'autre cycle pour spray figue à Dominique. Nous avons un problème, la plante pas qu'à nettoyer filio. Trop de richesse en ces fils figue là. Ça a fait nous gaspiller l'huile là qui est tellement chère. So, nous avons des plantes pour travailler au sérieux. Nous avons des plantes qui parlent de travailler en figue encore. Hacher fil figue là. Parce que là, on quitte vieux fil là, pour faire maladie black cicatora doublé. Ben nous.
On a le Drago fait parole qui habitants qui pas qu'à suivre bon standard, ça même qu'à affecter ministre agriculture et puis travailler ailleurs.
Et puis ça a affecté le travail nous. Dominique pas ni l'argent pour gaspiller, ti l'argent nous c'est pour nous aider femmes nous. So moun na qui ni jardin là, qui ni vieux fille là, il pour faire des bagailles. Soit nettoyer ou bien couper plate. Les nous qui pas pour planter ces jeunes figues là, nous mènent au fond là. Nous paquetons là pièces, vieux jardin figues, tout pour là nous planter ces figues là. Nous qui bien sérieux en ça. So mon a dit planter pour coûter nous et bien coûter même ministre agriculture et bien travailler avec même ministre agriculture parce que nous ni pour get it right.
D'autres nouvelles affaires où le gouvernement bâti en constituency Kachakou, ça même c'est bon compliment pour constituency ça là. Parole celle-là sortie du même parlement, Honorable Ian Pinad.
Là où on est dans la pointe actuellement, où est massif, si wall ça, ça même, c'est un compliment au village là. Avant, le village là tenait un petit chemin. C'est magique de nous faire chemin pour nous donner donkey et puis hausse au marché, il est à piti. Et puis actuellement, nous avons un beautiful boulevard La Pointe. Nous avons un plus beautiful boulevard à entire Dominica. Et puis La Pointe et puis Soufriere Scott, ça est plus boulevard à Dominique. Et puis le gouvernement qui fait les massive projets ça. So monde La Pointe et monde Soufriere cache à regarder bien content et ça nous a fait à La Pointe à Soufriere constituents.
Et puis finalement, ça fait au monde qui a besoin d'alcool et puis drogue, ça a concerné le département de drogue autant. Parole celle-là, c'est le coordinateur du département de drogue Dominique, mademoiselle Jacinta Barnes.
Il a concerné nous, puisque il y a des gens qui ont couillé nous pour assister. Et puis, ce n'est pas un bagage Dominique ou ça, c'est un bagage global. Je dis que World Health Organization, PARO, toutes ces organisations, OAS, toutes ces organisations, ils ont considéré ça c'est une maladie pour la société. So, ils ont fait quelque chose pour assister les gens en direction ça là.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Ni un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Coming up next, a possible contributor to your lower back pain.
Wash your hands. I am Adora Tuse, health educator from the Ministry of Health. Proper hand washing protects against the spread of many common illnesses and germs. Wash your hands often with soap and water, or you may use a hand sanitizer. Remember, clean hands save lives. Protect yourself.
A message from the Health Promotion of the Ministry of Health.
Few of us are strangers to lower back pain. Though your feet can seem far removed from your back, they can really be related and contribute to your pain and in turn stress and fatigue. If the feet are mechanically unsound, they can change the alignment of all the structures above them. The doctor's advice: wear shoes which are neither too flat nor too high. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GISNewsDominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thank you for watching and join us again next time on National Focus.
Health.